Alright guys, Fula coming to you with another video. Shout outs to the whole LDBC. If you like this video, please feel free to like the video. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, please feel free to subscribe to the channel as well. So, I just kind of wanted to touch on YG's situation because of the simple fact, I think these are some trumped up charges, in my opinion, and that there's a deeper agenda behind these charges. The thing is, if you're a rapper, if you're an entertainer, if you're a high profile athlete, you're going to be under the microscope regardless. They're going to wait for you to try to, they're really going to try to wait for you to slip up somehow. You know what I mean? That's how it works most of the time. Unless you're viewed favorably in the limelight. But most of the time, let's just face it, like, if you're black in the limelight, then, and you don't conform to a certain way, then you may be having a target on your back. That's just the bottom line. That's just how it works. Now, the thing is about YG, we all know YG come from Bompton, right? We all know that YG from Peru, right? We all know YG, for the most part, he does gangster rap, right? And so, that being said, the powers that be expect him to act a certain way. Powers that be expect him to fit a certain image. And they don't expect him to slip out of that image. Okay? So, there's a couple of incidents that I think have something to do with him being targeted, and I think this targeting is due to one incident that kind of opened the floodgates for him to kind of go through an evolution that many people in the higher establishment didn't want to see him go through. The first incident was the F Donald Trump song. Okay. That song was a political song. That song was actually his idea. I'm telling you, he had the idea for the song. And so, with that being said, that was a political statement song. The video was a political statement as well. Okay? Number one, in the video, right? You had red and blue together, right? But you also had black and brown together. What I mean by that, you have blacks with Hispanics. And for those of you guys who don't know, in LA in general, for the most part, although we grow up in the same neighborhoods, we go through the same crap, right? Black and Hispanics don't really see eye to eye most of the time in terms of like hood politics. We, if you know, there were many a times that I'm not gonna go too much into detail, but where me and the homies had melees with Hispanics because they would be like, "Where you from, SA?" or something like that, and then niggas would have no choice but to have melees, you know, and then they find out where we're from, and then they'll never test us again after the fact, you know. But anyhow, that's beside the point. But anyway, what I'm saying is that it's really bigger than what we think most of the time. Now, in that video, you had YG, you had our great LA legend Nipsey Hussle, who bangs Rolling 60s, YG, and some blood, right? Now, they've been working together for a long time. Since they've been in the industry, they've been side by side with each other. But the other factor that comes into play here is the fact that the red in that video, and you know, a homegirl opened my eyes to this fact. You know, she's the one who really like kind of like opened me up to this. The red YG had kind of represented also the red in the Mexican flag. The blue that Nip had represented the blue Salvadorian flag. And for you guys who don't know LA politics, just how there's like kind of like, you know, unfortunately, I'm just gonna be real, there is sometimes, I'm not gonna say all the time, but there is sometimes a division between like continental Africans, Caribbeans, and you know, African descendants who are from here. Now, same thing applies to Hispanics. You will find that Mexicans don't really get on with El Salvadorians. They don't really get on with Puerto Ricans. They don't really get on with Hondurans. Okay? But what happened was, in that video, you had the Mexicans and the Salvadorians together. Okay? But personally, I think the bigger thing was the fact that you had black people and Mexicans together, or Hispanic people together, when really we're kind of like, you know what I mean, there'd be beef out on these streets, especially like, I'm telling you, bro, East LA, I'm telling you, there would have to be a really good reason for me to pull up to East LA. It would have to be a really, really valid reason for me to go on the east side. Okay. But anyhow, another thing too that probably raised the red flag was on YG's song Stop Snitching. Okay. He took it a step further in that song. Okay. You know, the thing is, or actually, hold on. There's another. There's a There's actually, okay. That track did something, and because he was actually going at Tekashi Snips 6ix9ine, that probably laid a red flag because of the simple fact that he was at his throat, and we already know that Tekashi 6ix9ine is protected, you know, by far. He's like one of the most prized assets of this whole thing because of his foolery, you know. But anyhow, there's another song that kind of probably let off the red flag. There's another. No, the thing is, actually, let me take that back. Not only did he diss the 6ix9ine, but the video of that song, Stop Snitching, probably let off a red flag due to the simple fact YG did it in slave like days. And so what this is showing, that it's actually showing him like I want to say, what's a good word? Elevating as an artist, basically. Because if you don't know any better, but I'm pretty sure everybody who listens to this will know this fact, but unfortunately during the slave days, when there were revolts that were about to pop off, right, you had guys who will openly tell their master, hey, they're about to kick it off. Hey, master, we gotta stop them. Master, this is what they're about to do. And so this is what happened. This is what happened at that time. And the thing is, I guess those slaves would feel so comfortable about, they would feel so comfortable in being in, I guess, the house, being what they say, the house Negro, or whatever the case may be. So, I'm thinking when people saw this, when the higher uppers saw this, they're like, oh shoot, this guy right here, what's going on? Like, what happened to just the typical gangster rapper guy? Why he doing this? You know what I mean? And the thing is then another thing happened. Now, shout outs to Lauren London, for making this marathon continue. Just recently, Lauren London put out some pictures of the Puma marathon gear, right? In those like pictures, you had all the Nips day ones. You had Pac-Man, you had J-Stone, you had who else was in that thing? I think Boss Hog was in there too. But anyway, in those pictures, right, you also had YG. But guess what? Guess what YG said guess what action that YG did that basically like I'm thinking made them say, okay, that's it, we got to do something. We got to do something about this guy. In that picture that he did, right? You had him with the blue rag and a red rag together, right? So with that being said, he really calling for the unity of these different sets. But it's going to be very hard to do that. But I'm thinking that if that were to happen, right, it would transform the whole world probably. I'm dead serious. The thing is the culture is contagious, okay? Gang banging culture is contagious. That's why you have, and you know, I tell them niggas all the time, like, nigga, I mean, you can't be in New York banging 60s, or you can't be in New York banging, like, Centinela Park. You can't be in New York banging, like, basically, Treetop or Queen Street, you know. I wouldn't suggest gang banging at all. I would suggest just being about your paper. But if you must gang bang, then you're gonna have to make pilgrimage here, nigga. Like, you're gonna have to really, like, see what this whole thing's about, you know. And I'm sorry to say it, but it starts in California, you know. That's just the bottom line. So do you know that with that being said, though, that him calling for unity, although that thing is very hard to do with Blood and Crips, because you have decades upon decades of rivalries, you know, but that's a powerful statement. And the crazy thing about that statement is the fact that Puma actually let it be shown in that ad, you know, with him having the blue rag, with him having the red rag. It's basically a how should I say it, a hint at what he was trying to get at, you know. That's what he, because I'm gonna tell you something, man, and you guys may think I am sounding crazy, but in the hood, whether it be Bompton, whether it be South Central, whether it be East LA, there are like people who, how should I put it? I don't even know how to put it, but there are like people who will basically surprise you, like, in such a way that you're like, wow, this nigga's like a superhero or something, like, in these places, okay? I'm letting you know that because I witnessed it with my own eyes, you know. But anyhow, with that being said, I think that they're just trying to target him. The thing is, he's out on bail right now, right? The lawyer said that the charges are completely false. The lawyer said that when these things took place, he wasn't even in the same radius of those things that took place. Okay? So, I think another thing you have to ask is, why would the nigga have a need to rob when he just purchased a mansion? Okay? What, he has to rob to pay off his bills in that mansion? What's the deal? But for me, that makes no sense whatsoever. Okay? It really doesn't. I think, again, he's being targeted because he's becoming and evolving as an artist. That's what I think. And I think that people in the higher places are worried about that. Okay? And I don't know what's gonna happen. Me personally, I know the Grammys. I think the Grammys take place tomorrow. Yeah, I believe so. The Grammys are on tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna tune in, man, because, like, I'm sorry to say it, a lot of people are like, they're so happy about the Nipsey Hussle tribute and stuff like that. I may watch like a recap of the Nipsey Hussle tribute, but for me personally, I really don't. For me, this is just what I believe. Personally, this is just me. And many people may not agree with me, but I just believe it's fake love that they show Nipsey, you know. Especially these mainstream outlets. I just really think it's fake love because, you know, he's been around for a while now. You could have put him in the Grammys for doing something, changing the game in his $100 CDs, and then, I mean, he dropped $1,000 CD. You know, he changed the game, man. And now you guys all of a sudden want to show love. But that's it for another video in itself. You know, I talk about Nipsey enough as it is, you know what I mean? But you know, I can always talk about him. You know, I'll never get tired of talking about Big Homie, you know. But anyhow, I just really think that's what's happening with YG. That he's a target. They said even that he was been under investigation, that they've been investigating the whole time. So these hip hop cops are definitely looking to like do something, you know. That's what's happening. And so with that being said, you know, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments on this video. And yeah, Fool is signing out. Njaram.